Revelation on sharing sacred knowledge. For many years, we have kept our sacred knowledge private and protected. Sacred knowledge is the most important resource in a righteous culture, so the path towards sharing it with others has been very carefully walked upon. Some of our most intense and serious discussions have come while searching the Lord's will in this matter. We decided to inquire of the Lord with Urim. When we received with Urim that which is written here, we knew without a doubt it was right to find the Lord's will in this matter. At that time, the Handbook of Established Righteousness had been nearly completed, so I decided to use it as the element of righteousness in the way I usually used a stone tablet with the Urim. As I prepared to use the Urim over a few days, the Spirit brought to mind questions I had during the years that I had used the Urim to obtain the books of remembrance. Like, why did Yasakai and Kava keep so much of their life experiences in Eden to themselves? And when the people in Maine searched out the land to discover the ancient original righteousness, why did they not inquire of our first parents? And why was Enoch not present when the Council of Shaliva was establishing the framework for the ancient church? The Spirit began giving me the feeling that it was because of this same issue of how to safeguard sacred knowledge. While Yatsakai may not have had the language to share it, Enoch did, and even he was hesitant. The following then came with Urim. Verse 1. As I put on the Urim, I immediately began to see the large flat stone Yatsakai and Kava used for an altar, or that is to say, a special place to stand before the Lord. And as I watched that scene again, it came clearly into my mind that what they learned there that day was their most sacred knowledge. And I could clearly feel with Yasakai what he felt, and he held that the knowledge of forgiveness is the bridge from his new home in the temporal world back into Eden, and his desire to return to Eden was all consuming to him. Verse 2, and the Lord began to speak to me, and he said, since the beginning, sacred knowledge has been held in high regard and only shared with careful discretion. But there came a time when Enoch was urged by the Spirit to share it abroad, and it must go to the people unknown to him. And even though in those days there was a complete separation between the righteous and the wicked, Enoch was hesitant. Verse 3, and it came to pass that Enoch went before Anochseed and said, O Anochseed, how can I share such holy things with strangers? And much of it I do not know how to say with words. Verse 4, and Anochseed said to Enoch, I will send a strong angel named Uriah to accompany the sacred knowledge wherever it will go, and my Spirit will give words in their hearts to bring understanding, and those who will treat it lightly or even desecrate it will find their portion of grace and blessings will diminish. But for the wicked, if they turn it to use it for the element of wickedness to fight against the truth, it will bring hard misfortune. And the spirit of the angel of Uriah will not leave what you send forth unattended. Verse 5, and it came to pass that after receiving this word, Enoch made Shari a scribe, and copies of the writings of Enoch were sent to some of his family in Qatar by the hand of Shari. And Uriah caused the sacred knowledge to be safeguarded for a long duration, even down to the time of my walk in the flesh. And in those days, all the righteous found themselves surrounded by the wicked in their daily lives, and many would be persecuted and even killed by the wicked, so they could suppress the truth. Verse 6, but in those hard circumstances, the people were guided to share their sacred knowledge with the public, and their long habit of keeping the truth closed was now opened up to their whole nation. And in that day, the sacred knowledge went to all the world, and it was expedient that it must be so, that the message of salvation and redemption would be able to be known to all people, and it was very hard for my people, and the offering of their sacrifice of their lives was very great in the sight of heaven. Verse 7. And the Lord continued, and he said, in your day, in this time of tribulations, this sacred knowledge of righteousness must come forth, and in the midst of the dominance of the world by the wicked and their decadarchy. But for the sake of the righteous, who desire to live clean before me, it is necessary for the truth to be spread abroad to them. Verse 8. And now, in this day, Uriah has a host of angels at his side to accompany the truth of righteousness that is to be spread abroad, and they will accompany this truth everywhere it will go, and they will carefully watch what is done with it, and their task is clear before their eyes. Verse 9. And I can hear the sound of the Lord's feet in the grass, and he is behind me, and he is saying, it is my will that this knowledge of the established righteousness go out to the world, and it may bring threats, but do not measure the cost, for I will take care of you. And if you could know what these truths will mean to my people, you would surely rejoice for the opportunity to have shared it. Verse 10. So call upon Michael and Gietta for help according to the need, and call upon the strong angel Uriah, and I will call upon him and his band with you, and set a day aside to come before the altar of Enochseed to make these requests. I am the Lord, and I am pleased with that which all of you have done, and your reward in heaven is made sure. Amen. This concludes the revelation on sharing sacred knowledge. Thank you for listening. Shalom.